Okay, looks like we're online. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. The few of us that have ventured out on this cold Monday evening, welcome to everyone who's tuned in on our live stream around the country. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint and the presenter, yes. We'll be spending around the next 50 to 60 minutes just going through what this business is all about, what the business proposition is, and afterwards you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. Okay. So, you're at DuePoint's head office. We're actually a division of another business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company. They were founded in 1952, so they've been around for a very long time. That's their building in the background. They're based down the road from us in Randburg, the little orange logo. They traditionally have always dealt with only other financial service providers, and for the first time through DuePoint are they now dealing with the public directly. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there. You'll notice in the foyer above our water cooler, we've got all our FSP licenses on display, as well as our accreditation with the direct selling and the direct marketing associations. So at this point of the presentation, it's very important for our guests here this evening to start building some trust in the business we're going to be speaking about. That's fundamental in any business proposition. We take credibility very seriously here at DuePoint. You're welcome to do a background check on who Constantia is. We're actually listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under another business called Conduit Capital. The individuals here at DuePoint, should I say the executive and the management team, are these individuals you see up on the screen. The first three are registered chartered accountants. Brendan, who you see here this evening, is our senior executive. He heads up DuePoint. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his family have been involved in insurance his entire life. His father's a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years. His father founded Clientele. Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps, and they founded a very successful short-term insurer, which is based just down the road from us, called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, and you see they do a fortune of advertising on a daily basis in South Africa. So we're very fortunate to have Brendan leading the team. Tim Reynolds, he's got a lot of experience in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for a number of years. He reported directly to the board of executives there and the CEO. He heads up our auditing, our regulatory, and the accounting aspects of our business. Stacey supports him in that role. She's got a lot of experience in auditing particularly. She worked with Deloitte all her working career, locally as well as overseas. Before she came back here and joined the team. And then the two non-accountants, the fun of the party. You give the accountants a little bit of alcohol and they become the fun of the party. But Jane and myself, the non-accountants, Jane's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, and that's fundamental to our business, because even though we're an insurance business, we very much rely on referral marketing, or network marketing, as some people call it, to grow our business. And so her experience is very important to our team. And then myself, I've worked in marketing and advertising pretty much my entire working career. I started a digital agency of my own in the mid-late 90s and ran that for almost 20 years, a very long time, before I exited that business and I joined the team here at DuePoint. So this is, when I talk about a business proposition, we can talk about the company, but the people make up the company, and these are the people you're going to be dealing with. We certainly don't hide away in our offices behind the glass sliding door. We're very much and actively involved with the people that join this business, because our mandate is to support the people that join this business. As a business, as an enterprise, we can only be profitable and successful if our wealth engineers, the people in this business, are successful and effective at doing what they're doing. And so we have this common interest to see you guys as effective and successful in this business as possible. Okay, so what brings you out on a chilly Monday evening? How many guests are here? So who's here for the first time? Just a quick show of hands. Okay, welcome guys. Great. I always prefer to see more guests than actual members. I know they're doing their job then. So welcome to our guests. I like to kind of understand what the driving behavior is. Why would we be here on a Monday night? We've got tons of other options. I'm sure we've all got a home to go to. You could be at home. You could be waiting for generations to begin. You could be catching up with the spouse and the kids and doing whatever else, right? Way more options than being here on a Monday night. So what is the driving behavior? We kind of look at a couple of factors. when I discuss this part of the presentation, which I think are the driving behaviors behind this kind of entrepreneurial interest. The one is the economy. Anyone happy with the economy currently? Right? Brendan was saying to me, there's so much happening in the news. You must have so much material you can talk about. I said, I actually don't want to bring any of that material up because it's just going to depress everybody. Right? So the economy is quite a frustrating aspect. And South Africa is not unique. Every single country out there has got facing its own challenges. But we have great challenges facing us. We've got about 9 million people unemployed, which is about 50% of our workforce that's sitting at home, able and willing to work, not working, sitting at home doing nothing. You can only imagine how frustrating that must be. And the problem is that the economy is not growing at the moment. So the last 6 months have shown South Africa to actually be in a recession, which means for the first time in about 9 years, I think, the economy is now shrinking. We're going backwards. So if we thought we were going to add extra jobs, we're not. We're actually shedding jobs. Companies are very much in survival mode at the moment and certainly not thriving. And this plays out directly in our lives, right? Because we all depend on employment. And if there's less and less jobs, that means there's more and more retrenchments that are taking place. There are more and more businesses that are shutting down. And I kind of experienced this firsthand because my wife's a labor litigator for a very large mining company, actually the largest private employer in the country. They employ about 160,000 staff, and she oversees all the labor issues that they have in the mine, which often involves retrenchment. So we often think when people get retrenched, especially in mines, we think it's the person earning the least, right? The guy, the rock driller or whoever it is, they're the ones getting retrenched. Yes, they are the ones getting retrenched, but they're not the only ones getting retrenched because my wife has to retrench many, many people in that organization, all the way up to almost executive level, right? So we're talking about doctors, geologists, engineers, people with degrees, maybe even 2 degrees. You would think that if you did well at school and went to varsity and got a really good job and then joined one of the biggest multinational mining firms in the world, that you would be safe from retrenchment. Wouldn't you think that? And yet we have these people, 30, 40, in their 50s, some of them, getting retrenched. My point is no one is safe in an economy that we experience in South Africa at the moment. And this is very frustrating because it's not something we have control over. We've got absolutely no control over the economy. The one thing we do have control over, however, is the debt that we take on our lives. And our debt is a crippling aspect of our personal finance. And it has got a long-term effect with regards to our personal finance. Unfortunately, we are all afforded debt the moment we earn a salary. That salary was typically put into a bank account, and when that happened, you had certain financial service providers and other businesses that saw you as a wonderful potential client because they knew that you were going to get paid a salary every month, right? And this wonderful thing called a debit order that was designed in the 70s is this great facility where they just take money out of your account. But you agreed to it. Remember, you agreed to it. And so over and above the debt instruments that you offered, you also offered investments as well as savings products. But in South Africa, unfortunately, we engage mostly in debt, right? So there's lots of common debt instruments. That's almost a way of life. It's a way of life. No one turns their nose up when they hear that you have debt in your life. So you've got things like credit cards. You might have a Woolworths account, an Edgar's account, personal loans, educational loans, a car loan, a home loan. They come in all shapes and sizes. Hire purchase. You can hire purchase almost anything. Micro-lending. Almost every South African has got some form of debt. Unfortunately, 50% of the people that have debt are under debt review currently, which means they haven't been able to maintain their debt for longer than 3 months. So this shows us that people are in this monthly cycle where they're not making it month to month. They aren't. They're running out of money before the end of the month. It's a huge problem, especially in an economy that's shrinking, right? Because there's no way out. If on average the economy is shrinking, that jobs are being lost, companies are closing down, where does the average South African have an option to increase their salary? Can we depend on that 8% increase? Did everyone get an 8% increase in line with inflation for the last 5 years? Probably not, right? So unfortunately, debt creates this long-term effect. We get a lot of statistics from the Financial Services Board that paints this picture of what personal finance looks like in South Africa. And it's not a very pretty picture because it says, like I said, most South Africans engage in debt most of their lives. They only start looking at investment and savings products when they're around their 50s. which is far too late, right? Because you have this thing looming down on you the older you get. It's the same as retrenchment, but they've got another name for it. Do you know what it is? Retirement. Retirement and retrenchment have the same net effect. You don't get a salary at the end of the month. So this is some data that was published on the Fin24 website late last year, and it shows you what responsible retirement planning looks like. Okay, so if you go to a financial advisor, they'll pretty much say what you see on the screen over here. They'll ask you, how much money do you think you need to derive? Income do you need once you become retired? So how much money do you need to live on? How old are you now? And what age are you going to retire at? So we pretty much guess what age we're going to retire at, right? Because I think at 60 you're still completely capable to work, but companies will often go, oh, you're near retirement, you need to start thinking about retiring. And they'll force you into early retirement if they can. They'll offer you a nicer package, but they'll say 58, 59, close to retirement, time to go. Same net effect as retrenchment. No salary at the end of the month. So take a look at. There's 3 columns. Each column is headed with the income that you could derive from an investment, right? So if you put yourself in the position where you have saved R1 million, so you've got R1 million sitting in a cash investment, in a retirement fund, whatever it is, it will give you an income of 5,000 Rand a month for the next 30 years. So if you retire at 60, it'll give you an income till you're 90, because that 5,176 Rand will actually eat into that capital amount at the same time. So you're actually going to run out of money when you get to 90. You can't live till 91 because you'll starve to death in that last month, right? Anyone happy with a 5,000 Rand income once they're retired? No? Yes? Don't be shy. It's Monday night. It's not a classroom. There are no right or wrong answers, right? No one's happy with a 5,000 Rand income. I saw a report that said for a family of 4 to feed themselves a nutritious meal once a month, or 3 times a day for a month, they needed 7,000 Rand a month just for groceries. Who's going to live on 5,000 Rand a month? 26,000 Rand a month sounds a lot better. You need 5 million Rand saved in a cash investment that will pay you out 26,000 Rand a month. If you want to get there, if you're under the age of 25, you can start engaging in responsible retirement planning. And that's often when you need to start engaging with it, right? Because you've got time on your side. So in this case, you only need to save 4,000 Rand a month for the next 40 years. If you do that, you'll be in the position where you've created this 5 million Rand investment, which will pay you out 26,000 Rand. Anyone doing that? Anyone putting 4,000 Rand a month away at the moment? For 40 years. And that 4,000 Rand a month has to increase annually in line with inflation every year. So next year, it needs to increase by 7-8% at least. Okay? Do you know how many South Africans do this successfully? 2%. 2%. So we've got about 40 people in the room. There's maybe one person in the room. I'm trying to find them. One person in the room that will retire financially independent. The rest of us, statistically, will be part of that 98%. The 98% that retires financially dependent. Dependent on who? You better have a great relationship with your immediate family, because statistically you're going to be depending on them, right? So people get to retirement, suddenly they need to sell their house if they own it, move into a smaller house, move into a caravan, buy a smaller house, move somewhere where it's cheaper, move in with their kids, move in with other family. It's not a great retirement for anyone. For anyone. And it's very sad that 98% of the people, of average South Africans, are faced with this reality once they hit retirement. So out of all this negativity, the economy, debt, retirement, we as an enterprise, as a business, saw a solution to create a platform or a system for the average South African to engage in to break out of the cycle. We've got 3 goals for the people that join this business. Number 1, get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. Get rid of it. Don't go buy new shoes, a nicer car, a bigger house. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. You'll see throughout this presentation, the common theme in this business is to see the wealth engineers that get involved in this company to get rid of debt as quickly as possible. The second aspiration we have for our wealth engineers is to see you engaging in a real investment. A real investment. Not a house. People will say to you, if you just pay off your house, that's a great investment. How is paying off a house a great investment? I don't understand it. Are you going to pay the house off and then move out of it into a caravan and sell the house? Because that's the only way you'll get access to any funds, right? So paying your house off is not an investment. We want to see our wealth engineers engage in a real investment that they can contribute to every single month, that grows and grows, and they can look forward to next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is. The third aspiration is to see everyone smile more than you usually do on a Monday night towards the end of the month. I assume all the debit orders have gone off because there's no smiling faces in the audience this evening. Are we all suffering that much tonight? It's not that cold, is it? It got a little bit warmer yesterday. So our third aspiration is that, to see our wealth engineers happier. That's why you're here on a Monday night. You've got some form of hope. You've got interest that this business proposition might be a good change for you, so that you're better off tomorrow than you were yesterday. And those are 3 aspirations. Get rid of debt, start investing properly, and be happier. No financial stress at the end of the month. Can you imagine yourself completely debt-free? You own the house. You own the car. You pay for your kids' education a year up front. There's no debit orders going off your account. All the money that gets deposited into your account, you get to decide what to do with it. Can you imagine that for yourself? Because most South Africans aren't in that position. A very small percentage of us are. So how does this all work? Our guests here this evening, you've got the option, you've got the opportunity to join DuePoint. You actually contract with us, and when you contract with us, all we want you to do is go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And into these channels of distribution, we will attempt to place product with the people that you introduce to us through our online platform. And that's basically how this entire business works. The benefit for you is that you get to create an additional income stream, right? This is the only way you can pay your debt off any faster. It is the only way you can break out of this debt cycle that we're all in, is by creating additional income stream that gives you options. The nature of our business allows you to create recurring income. Now, this is a great benefit that is actually derived out of companies like insurance businesses. And this is the number one reason why I exited my business after 17 years, because we couldn't create recurring income. I realized only after almost 2 decades that I was going to be doing this for the rest of my life, like literally till I died. Because in my business, we sold time, right? We had salespeople, we had designers, we had programmers, and we would look for the business, find the business, do the business, invoice it. And at the end of every month, I had to start at 0 again and do it all over again. And I did that for 17 years. Even with the advice from my father saying, get into business that pays you while you're sleeping. But I didn't know what he meant. I think I was too young to understand what he was talking about. But those were wise words. Those were wise words. Power duplication is another great benefit, because this is leverage. Why does the CEO get the biggest salary in the business? Why does he get the biggest bonus? He's got the same amount of time as you and I in the day. The difference is leveraging all the people that work for him. In this business, you have a similar benefit. These channels of distribution that we want you to go out and build is your ability to go out and build teams that will actually collaborate with you. So if you've got limited time, like an hour to spend in this business a day, but you've built a team of 10 people doing the same thing, now suddenly you've got 11 hours being invested into your asset that will increase your recurring income at the end of every month, right? If you look at any business opportunity, if they can tick these 2 boxes, recurring income and power duplication, you're looking at a great business opportunity. This is a flexi-time business. Now, this is a double-edged sword, because some people might think, oh, it's flexi-time, I can do it when I want to, I can do it when I've got spare time, right? But the other side of the sword is, you won't be successful in this business. I promise you won't, unless you commit regular, routine time to this business in your diary, which means that you need to decide how you're going to sacrifice to make this business fit in with your life. Because I know everyone in this room, their diaries are full. Chock-a-block, especially if you've got kids, right? You've got one little financial burden running around, they take up all your time. 2, I don't even know. I can't even imagine what 2 must be. I'm having a second kid in August. I'm dreading it. I hope my wife's not watching the live stream. Right? So flexi time is not this obvious benefit that we all relate to when we think, I can do this business when I've got spare time. No. By the end of this presentation, there's going to be a big orange slide that comes up. It's going to say decision time. The real decision is, how is this business going to fit into your life? Because I see wealth engineers come and go in this business, and unless you've actually decided how you're going to commit regular time to this business, it's not going to work. It's like everything else in life, right? It requires commitment. No startup capital. There's no registration fees to get going in DuePoint. So it's a very low risk endeavor. There's no boxes of products that you need to buy to get started. There's no qualifications or experience required. We work in financial services, and we've got all this FSB regulation we have to abide by, which is extremely onerous. We actually contract you out of all that obligation. So you guys can get involved in financial services without worrying about all the experience and the qualifications required for financial service companies. You get to build an asset. Now, this is a very important point again, because if I propose to you that you need to sacrifice time to get involved in this business, at least to be successful in this business, at least know that the time that you invest in this business is into an asset that you're building that you have legal ownership over. This flies in the face of employment, because for all of us who are employed, we will spend a lifetime working for somebody else. No shareholding, no profit share, no dividend check every quarter, no sale control in the business. But we'll spend 40, 45 years doing it. At least in this business, you've got ownership over this asset. It means you can sell it. It means you can put it into your will. You can move it into a family trust. You can give it to your kids when you get too old. If something happens to you, you can cede it to your beneficiaries. Right? You have options. There's no selling involved in this business. How many of our guests here that got invited here this evening, their first question was, what are the products? What are the products? What are they selling there at that business that you want me to come see? Again, we contract you out of selling. And this is a great benefit, right? I should see more smiles when I said there's no selling involved. I'm sure a lot of you are relieved. The nature of our business being financial also means that the products are intangible. So like I said, there's no box of products that you need to buy. You don't have to worry about them expiring, taking up space at home. So we make this business as convenient and as easy as possible to get involved with as we can. And this is all predicated on you going out and building these things that we call channels of distribution. So what are these? It begins with you. If you're a guest this evening and you become a wealth engineer, what are you going to do? You're going to go out and tell other people about the business opportunity. That's all we want you to do. Tell people about the business opportunity. If you're successful in that and you're able to get people to come to a presentation like this and they eventually join this business, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And they have the same motivation as you. They also want to change their lives, their circumstances, their financial position. And they go out and they'll also tell people about the business opportunity. And when they're successful in that, you'll have other people joining. This is leverage. This is what power of duplication looks like. How much effort did it take to introduce the first 5 people to this business? But look what the business has become. You personally only know those first 5 people. But you have this organic growth that can take place in your business. And after a certain amount of time, this is what your channel of distribution will look like. You're getting paid every single month in a recurring format for every dot that you see on the screen, which is representative of every product that's in your channel of distribution. And next month, there'll be a few more dots. You can be in a position in this business, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, where you can take 3 months leave and still get paid at the end of every month. What happens if you tell your boss you're taking 3 months leave? He's going to quickly print out a letter called resignation and say, just sign here for me before you leave. Right? We don't have options in employment. We have very few options in employment. Okay, so this is what your channel of distribution looks like. This is my disclaimer slide. So look at the very appropriate picture. This is what we think business looks like. We see other people being successful in business. We think, oh, look, they're wearing nice clothes. They have a good-looking spouse. Even the dog's good-looking. They've got a nice car. And we think it's come to them so easily. They must be lucky. They're not better than me. What did they do? They must have been lucky, or they got a better start than I did. If you've ever had the opportunity to start your own business, you'll know how difficult it is to make a success of it. Anyone can start their own business. You can go to a registrar's office, Sign a form there, you're a business owner, you can tell all your friends you've started a company. You're the CEO. But to be successful is a completely different ballgame. Completely. 95% of businesses fail in the first year. Did you know that? Those are bad odds. Why would even anyone try getting into new business? You have to appreciate how difficult it is to be successful in any aspect of life, right? Whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to be a good husband or wife, your friends might have lied to you and said, get married, it's great, it's easy. Marriage is not easy. I'll go to a marriage counselor every 3 weeks. It's probably the best thing I've ever done, actually. My point is that if you want to be successful, it takes this long-term commitment. In this business, we will never promise you that you'll have short-term success or short-term wealth. It does not exist. It doesn't exist. The people that tell you that are lying to you. So I invite you to look at a business that says we're here to do the long yards with you. And if you're willing to go through that frustration, the learning curve, the need for personal development, I promise you there is success on the horizon. Okay, so this is my warning slide. Let's talk about how we pay our wealth engineers. We pay this thing at the end of every month called a return. A return is based on how many products you have in your channel of distribution. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that is in your channel of distribution. Okay, remember the first 5 people that you personally introduced to DuePoint successfully? They lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you. You know them personally. And on point 1, we pay you double that R27.50. So we actually pay you R55 for every product. But remember, it's recurring income. It's not once off. It's recurring income. You're getting that R55 for every product every month going forward. On the second point, same thing. R55 for every product every month. To the third point, you see the multiplier drops down to 100%. These are people 3 points away from you. And then as the products get further and further away from you, that multiplier drops down to 4% by the 8th point. What's important to note is from the 8th point onwards into infinity, we will keep paying you 4% for every product that is placed in your channel. So we don't limit you on how big your channel distribution can get. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn with DuePoint. The accountability, again, lies with you. It's up to you. How long are you going to be in this business? How committed are you going to be? So this is the mechanics of the returns. I think it's fairly straightforward. The next natural question we get is, well, how much money can I earn after a certain amount of time? If I'm in the business for 1 month or 3 months or 6 months, or you talk long term after 5 years, what can I expect? So we built this thing called the Path to Success. And basically, it's a timeline that shows you what you can earn in time through the DuePoint system. But it's predicated on a growth formula. The growth formula assumes that as a new wealth engineer, you can bring 3 people into the business in your first month, right? Not the 5, just the 3 in the first month. Then in the second month, you only have to bring in 2. And every consecutive month thereafter, just 2. 2 new people every month, okay? We call it the 3 plus 2 growth formula, right? 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 into perpetuity, right? If you can do that, these are the kind of numbers you can expect. After 6 months, you could be earning R2,500 a month. Impressed? Not impressed. Little bit impressed? Is R2,500 a lot? 6 months of work. No one's walked out yet, but no one's jumping up singing hooray. When I first saw the example, I didn't think it was that much. I thought, geez, 6 months of work for R2,500. That's not a lot. But let me give you some context, because we think about money the wrong way, right? If we were thinking about money the right way, we wouldn't be in this room, correct? We need to start thinking about debt differently and how it affects us in the long term. So here's an example of someone with R1 million bond. They went out, they found a nice little townhouse in Bryanston. They didn't have the money cash. They went to a bank, got a loan. The bank agreed to give them the loan based on their credit record and their salary, and said, right, here's the money, you can go buy your townhouse, but you need to pay us back over the bond term. What's the typical bond term? 20 years. So if in your 30s, when you get this bond, when are you going to become a homeowner? In your 50s. In your 50s. That's just before you retire, which is probably a good thing, right? Because you're going to sell the house and move into a caravan. In your 50s. But you join DuePoint, and with some success, at the 6th month mark, you're earning R2,500. And you don't go out and spend the R2,500 on these fickle things. You try to pay your debt off as quickly as possible. Remember, our first goal for our wealth engineers, get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. The effect on this bond is that you get to pay this bond off. Instead of 20 years, you'll do it in 11 and a half years. Your bond payment would typically be about 11,500 rand for 20 years. Little 2,500 rand will nearly halve your bond term. Now you'll become a homeowner when you're in your 40s. Now suddenly you've got nearly 10 years extra to invest in a retirement fund or some investment of some sort. Do you know how much money that 2,500 rand saves you in repayments? Anyone want to guess? Shy audience this evening? That little 2,500 rand will save you 1 million rand in repayments. It saves you 100% of the property asset. That's frightening. Again, when they came up with this example, I thought they were wrong. I said, there's no ways. The house cost you 1 million rand. How can 2,500 rand save you 1 million rand? But it does. It gives you an indication of what compound interest is doing to you in the long term. You're paying the bank 2.5 times the value of that house. Guys, that's 6 months away. At 12 months, you created for yourself in excess of 100,000 rand of recurring income. You keep going. After 24 months, you're nearly 30,000 rand a month in recurring income. After 36 months, you're close to 50,000 rand. You want to look at the bond example? Now you're a high flyer. You've got a 5 million rand house. And at the 30-month mark, you're probably earning 36,000 rand a month. You place that as an additional payment into your 5 million rand bond. You'll pay that bond off in less than 7 years. So this is a great example for me. I like this example because I get to fantasize a little bit. I'm 40 years old at the moment. If I get to this position and I'm able to pay off a house in less than 7 years, by the time I'm 47, I've paid off a house to the value of 5 million rand. I'll go buy another house for 5 million rand. By the age of 54, I've now paid off 2 houses that have cost 5 million rand. And I'm renting the one out. By the age of 61, I've paid off 3 houses to the value of 5 million rand each. Can you see what my retirement looks like? I now own 15 million rand in property assets. That's how paying off a home loan becomes an investment for you. It's your second property and your third property. I could sell all 3 houses, buy a 15 million rand beach house that I own. That's the retirement I want, right? And I tell Brendan, I'm tired of giving presentations. I'm going now, 20 years time. I don't know if I can do this for 20 years. Right? But this is the option that I want you guys to look at, to attach yourselves to. It requires a decision way ahead of your time. I've got 21 years. My last 20 years have gone past like that. You asked me when I was 18 years old what I would have been doing when I was 25, I would have told you I'd be driving around in a Porsche. I had a best friend. He wanted a Ferrari. Did we have a Porsche and Ferrari when we were 25? Not even flipping close. And then the next 15 years flew past again. And before you know it, I got invited to my 20-year school reunion. Maybe with a couple of life lessons to show for it, but that was it. That was it. I now have 20 years left until I'm retired. It scares me. Right? 20 years, the last 20 years flew past. I better make sure I know what I'm doing in the next 20 years. I want the same options for you guys. We have to make decisions 20 years ahead of time. But when we're in the cycle of debt, we don't have the freedom to make decisions like that. If you're just trying to survive month on month, what options do you have to dream about 20 years' time? You don't. This business is designed to break you out of that cycle. You need to decide if you want it or not, whether you're going to try it or not, whether you're going to take the risk or not. That's what's on offer. After 48 months, you could be close to 70,000 rand a month in recurring income. After 60 months, you've created for yourself about 1 million rand annually in recurring income, over and above your salary, over and above what you're getting paid in your day job. Do you even believe that? To create 1 million rand for yourself in recurring income? I bet the audience doesn't even believe it. You haven't even been able to connect with that prospect. I don't blame you. I'm in exactly the same position. But this is the option. Focus on the first 6 months. Don't quit. You'll get to the 60 month. Is 60 months too long to commit to something? I see a lot of wealth engineers coming in and not committing, getting frustrated after 1 month, 2 months, leaving. But this is just an example. This is based on this 3 plus 2. Remember, 3 people in your first month, 2 people every consecutive month. Is that possible? You can be part of the 0 plus 0 club. We've got a big 0 plus 0 club. But you can also do more than 3 plus 2, because 3 plus 2 is purely an example. It's only academic for this example. We've got wealth engineers doing more than 3 plus 2. Denzel. So every month we have something called Tell All Tuesday. We invite wealth engineers up onto stage to tell the audience their story from the day they were exposed to DuePoint, when they sat in the same chair you're sitting in. And you can see, Denzel joined at the end of August. By April, he was earning nearly 2,500 rand. So he was tracking 3 plus 2 quite carefully. But if you go listen to his testimony, he'll admit to you and he'll say, in those first 6 months, I didn't really get DuePoint. Not that he didn't understand the system, he didn't understand the potential of what he actually was dealing with. And only at the beginning of the year did he realize that. Look what happened to his income in a single month. In 1 month, he gave himself a 100% raise. Go to your boss again, and after he tells you that you can't take a 3-month sabbatical, ask him if you can have a 100% raise. Doesn't exist in employment. It's laughable. You don't have control of your salary. You're begging for an 8% increase every year just to stay in line with inflation. If you haven't got an increase of 8% for the last 5 years, your salary is actually devalued. Do you realize that? Nonkobela from East London and the Eastern Cape. Look how long ago she joined. 2016. She didn't do anything in the business for a year. Nothing. She joined and sat back. You go listen to her testimony, she'll admit that she was too involved in these other schemes. I think those were her words. And there are hundreds of schemes floating around the country. That paints a picture of how desperate we are as an economy. People will listen to some ex-prisoner from Russia on YouTube and deposit their life savings into an account in the hope that money will just appear out of fresh air. I've spoken to them. They've come and spoken to me. They said, I lost this much money doing this. It does. It paints the picture of what we are enduring as a society. We've got Soso, one of our hardest working wealth engineers. We talk about the 3 plus 2 example. She can put 40 people into a business in a month. But she admittedly also, by the end of 2016, she came to me and she said she's building the business the wrong way. She needs to start all over again. She was just bringing anyone that would even listen to her into the business, right? Got to build the business with quality, resourceful people like you and I, the people that you can relate to, the people that you want to be around for the next 20, 30 years. And she's shown massive success in the business. And she runs her own business. She's doing this business to fund her own business, which she's passionate about. We'll all have different reasons for doing what we want to do. You might be happy with 2,500 rand a month. We've got some wealth engineers that that's all they need, is that extra 2,500 rand a month, and it pays for all these different types of things. Some wealth engineers, they want to get to 100,000 rand a month. You need to decide what's going to make you engage with this business on a regular basis to make it work for you. Again, the accountability lies with you. You decide what you want to do. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every single month that are using exactly the same platform, getting engaged with it, and have created an income stream for themselves over and above what they're getting paid. The system is not designed to replace your day job. It's there to supplement it. Okay? So this is the returns. This is what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month. Over and above the returns, we've got a system called the XP Rewards Program. Now this rewards you with the success that you have here at DuePoint, over and above the return that you get paid every month. So when you become a wealth engineer, you will start engaging in normal wealth engineer behavior, like coming to presentations, bringing guests, logging into the dashboard, doing presentations at home perhaps, and when you do these things, we give you something called XP. XP stands for experience points. It's got no monetary value, but it's an indicator to us of how active you are as a wealth engineer. And when you start collecting more and more of this XP and your channel starts to grow in terms of the products, you get rewarded. So I guess if you become wealth engineers this evening, you will begin at rank 0. You'll still be part of the 0+0 club. But very quickly you can get to rank 1. Within the matter, I reckon, 24 hours you can get to rank 1. Because all you need is 1,000 XP and 4 products in your qualified channel. And you'll be earning a return at the end of the month. But over and above that, through this rewards program, you'll get an extra 55 Rand. Okay? Can you get excited about 55 Rand? Not really. You'll need to though. But the more success you have at DuePoint, the more XP you collect, you start to rank up. And as you rank up, the rewards get bigger and better. So you'll see 55 Rand, 100 Rand, 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them be more effective at building their channels of distribution. So here's Patrick and Pumi with their lightning memory stick. It's a beautiful little device that plugs into anything. Anything. Phones, tablets, TVs, laptops, computers, Apple, Android, banana. It plugs into all of it. More importantly, we've got our video collateral on the little USB stick. So it doesn't matter who they're with, what device they have, they can show people what the DuePoint system is all about. At rank 7, we get these luxury premium business cards manufactured for our wealth engineers. You'll see them in the merchandise cabinet outside. They look like little stacks of gold. There's no printing done on these business cards. They're done on a suede black recycled, they call it a black potato paper. 4 times thicker than any other business card, gilded in gold on the edges, you can see there, and the logo is foiled in gold on the front with all your details on the back. Why would we spend 12,500 Rand on one set of business cards? Because people outside this building have never heard of DuePoint. If you go up to someone and say, I've got this wonderful business proposition for you, it's a business called DuePoint, why would you have any credibility? But I promise you, if you put a business card in their hands that's 40 times more valuable than the one they've got in their wallet, they will give you a little more time to explain who DuePoint is and what you do for them, because they have never seen business cards like that before. At rank 9, this is one everyone gets very excited about because this is actually a recurring reward. All the other rewards are once-offs. When you get to rank 9 and beyond, you'll enjoy this international conference with DuePoint every single year going forward. Every single year going forward. We've had one gentleman qualified for rank 9 in 5 months of being in this business. 5 months he got to rank 9. Accountability lies with you again. You can take 10 years to get to rank 9. There's no time limit on getting to rank 9. So take a look where we're going at the end of this year. So that's available for every single person in the room. Everyone has the ability to get to rank 9. That's why I say you need to get excited for that 55 Rand for rank 1. If you can get to rank 1, you can get to rank 9. How long is it going to take you to get there? At rank 11, guess what happens at rank 11? That's the car that was rewarded 3 weeks ago in our parking lot. This is just rank 11. The program goes down to rank 20. Behind the scenes, we've already designed it to rank 28. Can you imagine what happens at rank 28? You will never get there if you give up after 3 months, or 6 months, or 12 months. Never. That's the only absolute I can promise you. Got wealth engineers doing it. It's not an unproven system. Another benefit we have for our wealth engineers is a thing called the Wealth Quest that we do once a month. And what we do is we actually issue a challenge to our wealth engineers once a month. And that challenge is different every month. And the reward is different every month. So this month is called You're in the Army Now. It says, are you able to rank up in the XP Rewards program during this month? And if you're able to do that, we will give you 60 gigs of always-on data. So for 6 months, you'll receive 10 gigs every month. It's very much a data-driven business. None of the rewards we have are just for fun. They're there to make you more effective in building your channels of distribution. Okay. On Saturday, we gave 9 wealth engineers brand new big screen LED smart TVs. And the month before that, 9 Apple iPhones went out, 7. So every month, different challenge. Okay. We're going to ask the question about our business model. People think we're spending too much money or they're not sure where the money comes from. This is a very sound business model. Fortunately, we've been doing this for a long amount of time. Dr. Brian Benfield has done this across the globe. That illustrates on the far left the traditional business model, which engages in typical marketing channels like print, outdoor, TV advertising, radio, etc. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this building because we don't do any advertising, not a cent of marketing. We rely on our wealth engineers to go out and tell people about who DuePoint is, right? Solely. So we don't spend the billions that the insurance industry spends every year in marketing, advertising, and client acquisition. Instead, we take that portion of our premium and we pay it to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards. And that's very basically how this business works. Okay. What are the products? We've got 3 products. These are financial products. They all have very different benefits, so you're free to look at taking out one product or all 3 products as a wealth engineer. The first product is called Access Wealth. It is our investment product. Okay. Product number 1. It's an investment product. It's 299 Rand a month, of which we take 100 Rand and we place it into a tax-free investment fund in your name with Sanlam. It's not a notice deposit, it's not a fixed deposit. You can draw those funds out at any stage. Okay? On top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you have this investment, something happens to you, killed in a car accident, for example, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand plus whatever's in that investment. Okay, so this is product number 1, Access Wealth Investment. The second product is called Wealth Guard. This is strictly an insurance product. So it's only an insurance product. It's 274 Rand a month, but you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover with this product. The beauty of our personal accident cover products is that it doesn't profile you from a health risk point of view. So you can be 70 years old, you can be diabetic, and you will still get the same amount of cover for the same premium. The premium remains unchanged as long as you're over the age of 18. Okay, so this is product number 2, the insurance product. Product number 3 is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club program. This product aims to save you money on the money you're spending every month anyway. Okay, so for 274 Rand a month, you get to engage with a list of suppliers that we've got there. We've gone to these companies, we've negotiated discounts on behalf of all of us. ShopRite Checkers is a very popular supplier because I know we spend a fortune on groceries every month. At ShopRite Checkers, you'll get 2.5% off your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers. Okay, so you can see we've got a host of other retailers there. Eagle Ford is quite a big one that got added recently. The Entertainer is a great one because there you get over R1 million worth of buy one, get one free vouchers. So there's varying discounts with every supplier. If you want immediate benefit out of any of the products, this is the product to go for. Great product. So those are the 3 products. If you have any questions around them, come speak to me afterwards. I remind you of the support that you get here as a wealth engineer. I remind you that on slide 3, when I introduced you to the team, I told you our mandate is to support the people that join this business. We want to see you as effective and successful as possible with DuePoint. And so when you join, lean into the support because everything that we do here is for our wealth engineers. The facilities are for you. You can use the facilities. Free tea and coffee, free Wi-Fi. We've got iPads in the breakout rooms. You can have your meetings in the boardrooms. Brendan and I will even set up time with your team to strategize your success in this business. We live stream every event out to the entire country all the time. That's your opportunity to build your channel of distribution outside of wherever you are, right? So you have more leverage in the business. Here's the big orange decision slide. Remember what I told you. So for those of us that are interested in this opportunity, if you want to break out of this cycle and look at something that can create an additional income stream for yourself, and more importantly, options beyond what employment offers us, take a look at this business. And if you're interested in it, don't make the mistake of thinking you're going to do the business when you have free time. It'll never work for you. When I started doing these presentations more than a year ago, I thought that's a great benefit. Do the business when you can, flexi time. Doesn't work like that. Because I've seen the wealth engineers come in and they make the mistake of thinking they'll do it when they have spare time, they'll do it when they feel like it, when the weather's warmer, when Generations has finished in the evenings, when their kids aren't playing sport on the weekends, right? Whatever the excuse is. Don't let it be one of these New Year's resolutions. So think tonight, if you're joining this business, how are you setting time aside for DuePoint regularly within your schedule? How are you going to get to rank 1 before the end of this week? Make sure you know that. Make sure the person that's brought you to this presentation has told you how to qualify as quickly as possible in this business. Because only once you qualify do you start earning. So I want to see our guests here this evening. I want to see you turn into rank 1. Because I know if you can get to rank 1, you can get to rank 9. Going to Mauritius on your own is no fun. Fortunately, we've got a few families that have qualified already for Mauritius. I want to see more. More the merrier, right? And then rank 11. A car without a debit order at the end of the month. Although you have to pay for your insurance and your fuel yourself. That's only the beginning, guys. I promise you, it's only the beginning. If you can commit to this, this is still early days. The families that have got to rank 9 and rank 10 and rank 11, it is still early days. They've been in the business for just over a year. I told you, the program goes up to rank 28. We want to see long-term commitment in this business. We make joining very easy. Like I said, we've got iPads outside. If you've got your own smartphone or tablet on you, jump onto our Wi-Fi, go to the homepage, www.duepoint.net, click on the blue apply button. You'll go through an application process. It takes about 7 minutes to complete. You'll be a wealth engineer. That quick. This evening, you can still phone one of those first 5 people that you're going to bring into this business successfully. We have got training. We call them development seminars. They are fundamental to your growth here as a wealth engineer. On Saturday, we've got a dev seminar called Your First 30 Days. So it's perfect for our guests here this evening. If you become wealth engineers this evening, make sure you get to training on Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to lay out the entire structure for you over the next 30 days to see you as effective as possible, to ranking you up, understanding the basics of this business. So get to the training, and you can tune into it through the live stream very easily on YouTube. We have merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. These are tools to make you more effective. If you become a wealth engineer, please consider getting business cards. If you're going to propose to someone else that you've got the most fantastic business that you're a part of, and you don't have business cards, where does your credibility go? Out the window. Get business cards. They're on display in the merchandise cabinet. The pricing is on the counter. Pens, the USB stick is very convenient because we've got all our video collateral on the USB stick. And nowadays you can plug them into smart TVs, so you can give them to someone who doesn't want to use the data. The pins signify wealth engineers that are actually earning here at DuePoint. If you're ever going to ask anyone for advice, make sure the person's got a pin on their lapel, because the other people are still part of the 0+0 club. You don't want advice from them. Okay? And when you get there yourself, get one of the pins. Wear it with pride. We've got a power bank and a couple of other merchandise items. I remind you, we've got a YouTube channel. All our video that we produce is on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll tell you whenever we post a new video up. It'll tell you when there's a live stream about to happen. When you become a wealth engineer, download the mobile app. You can literally run your business, your channel, from the palm of your hand. You won't have to open up a computer or a laptop again. Okay? And everything is in real time on this app. And we're done, guys. I thank you for your time. If you have any questions, come speak to me afterwards. And hopefully we can make your end of the month look a little better than last month. Thank you.